Hey, everybody, welcome back to Sex, Drugs, and Opera. This is Jared Ice with Michael Pegger.
Michael Pegger here.
I knew as I was saying it that you wanted to say your own name.
Why? I don't understand why you don't let me.
I don't know. This is your
So controlling.
This is your podcast for August 10th, 2019. How the fuck are you? Mike, you're a performer, man. You have the ability to turn it on, you know?
Uh-huh.
You were sitting there just dead, drinking your coffee, eating your donuts, and then you just turned it on for the podcast, man.
I mean,
you just came to life.
Isn't that what we're trained to do? you gotta fucking.
You turned it on, man. Then you got me turned on.
You really Pagliacci. You know.
Turned me on.
You gotta fucking laugh when it's your time to laugh.
Mike came here with a bag of fucking donuts.
Well, it's early. We're doing an early morning podcast. Probably means there's not going to be any beer, but you know.
Well, I mean,
coffee's a drug too, or caffeine's a drug.
Yeah, somehow it's considered not a drug, right? But I mean, like, it alters your state. Didn't we talk about that once? Like,
maybe. I guess so.
What is, a drug?
That's why the Mormons don't allow it. They call it a drug.
Yeah, but they allow cold caffeine.
Which is true. It's absolutely
But they
true.
do cold caffeine.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure that a Mormon guy bought Pepsi, and then they could do.
Oh, I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I don't remember that. Like tea.
Yeah.
Tea's out.
Yeah.
But if tea's out, why is we need a Mormon to write us in? If tea is out, why would
I don't know. I just remember
Coke not be out?
I did this program this that happens in Utah. This dramatic voice thing. What's that called? The Institute for Dramatic Voices. I did that in Provo, Utah, and they had a state. I think it's somewhere different now, but I was there like the first year they founded it, the first couple years, and we were at the dorms at the BYU University campus, and there was a list of rules, and coffee was not allowed.
Coffee was definitely not allowed.
Coffee was not allowed. It was a dry town, and there were all these lists of rules about swimsuits and this and that and that. But I seem to
imagine?
I seem to remember that Pepsi was allowed. That's all I'm drawing from is my experience there. I remember chugging Pepsis to wake up and smuggling coffee in. Yeah. It's too late. Come and get me. I smuggled coffee in there. Like it was
we're gonna have a bunch of Latter-day Saints helicopters hovering over the studio at the end of this.
But it's funny because I really felt I felt like I was doing something wrong. You know, I had one of those. What are those called? Those plastic things you put on top of a cup and you put the filter in.
How can it be allowed? Isn't BYU a state school?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but to stay on the housing, I think they can have their own rules, so they can enforce whatever rules they want on like
the
a housing thing.
It's still a state school. So how is a school owned and operated by maybe it's not a state school, I don't know, but if there is a state school that makes those demands, isn't that kind of taking away isn't that the state kind of taking away somebody's right to do something? It
would have been a different situation had I done it now, but I was like 20 years old or some shit, you know. But I just remember like filtering that coffee, like putting it inside of a paper towel, then hiding it inside of a mac and cheese box so people wouldn't see it in the garbage. You know?
You do what you have to survive.
Were you looking up the lights, noticing how bright it is? Oh, we got one out here. We got to replace one. Damn. Yeah, and this studio is fucking camera ready. Just
hey, you want to tell people why you've been ruining all the podcasts by coughing?
Oh, I guess so. I forgot to take my inhaler. I might cough now. I went to the doctor, and it was such a fucking journey, you know, because I've been coughing on this podcast for years. And actually, thanks to the podcast, I noticed it. Because like, if you kind of cough here and there in your normal life, you know, it's like, you just don't notice it. But
you're listening to your voice all the time when you're editing and shit like that. And you're like, man, there's another cough. What the fuck is going on?
Because I don't listen to the whole podcast, but I go through and I look at where it peaks to make sure that it doesn't blast people. And it's always me coughing. So it's just me coughing all the time. And I went to the doctor, and they were like, and in Germany, the way it works is, and I don't know why this is. I don't know if it's because the doctors make money from the state, the more procedures they do, you know what I mean? Or if it's just like because it's free, they want to be more thorough. But they were like, we are going to do a CTI of your lungs. Like we're going to do an MRI. We're going to look at your vocal folds, your larynx, your blood. Like they did all this stuff.
Your feet.
And on the first appointment, I was like, so I have allergies, right? Because when I'm at the gym, I'm fine. So it's not my lungs, and I can sing and talk all day, you know. So my voice is fine,
right? And
of course, lungs were fine, voice was fine, and so then they did this allergy test, which for you that don't know, they basically stab your arm with a needle 10 times to make you bleed, and then they just drop different like things on there, right? And the one for Roggen, which is like rye, not like what's in whiskey, but like the pollen of rye, like was fucking exploding off my arm. I'm like
crazy.
Apparently deathly allergic to that. And it's also the one that has the longest pollen season. So the doctor was like, yeah, this basically would affect you all year except for January and February.
Jesus.
So now I take a inhaler in the morning, you know?
But who knows, baby? Global warming is changing all that. You might have an all year-round pollen season.
Yeah, could be.
That shit is shifting now.
But it must be regional because I moved to Frankfurt exactly when this started happening. So they must have like a lot of rye out here or something. That happened to me. That happens to people. I've heard of people that they come to Germany from America and their allergies disappear. And they were like, in the States when I sang, I always struggle with allergies, and in Germany it's not a problem. Huh. And then I've heard the reverse.
Yeah, right.
You know, which is like you come here and then suddenly you have allergies because there's just different shit, right? Different trees, different people.
They speaking of that, I watched a great video the other day about why was there no American flu, right? What? So we had.
You mean like the Black Plague?
So we had no. I'll tell you. We had when Europeans went to the Americas.
Yeah.
We there was a lot of actual killing, but it was nothing. Nothing.
Like killing from the flu, you mean?
No. There was a lot of actual killing, like going and shooting Indians, right? Like fucked up. Yeah. But it was nothing compared to the population loss due to the injection of Western diseases or Western European diseases.
So the Europeans came over and they like spread this disease to the Indians and that killed them.
Archaeologists now think that the Indian population or the Native American population in America, right, was something over 20 million or something like that. Jeez. And went down to 2 million within like 10 years.
Nothing wipes out people like fucking disease.
But they wondered, why the fuck? So their immune systems weren't ready for our diseases, right?
Yeah, right.
But why didn't if this group of people was isolated from another group of people, why didn't they develop diseases that we weren't immune to?
Right.
And the answer was they didn't have cities and sewage problems and the relationship with domesticated animals that Europe had.
I see.
They didn't really have cows. The only thing that in South America that they regularly what's it called?
Like
domesticated. Domesticated were llamas.
Llamas,
right?
Okay, yeah.
But it wasn't on nearly to the scale. They didn't live nearly
like
so
close.
Mass
farming
exactly.
And stuff. Okay.
And not only that, but a lot of the diseases come from a disease coming from a cow and crossing through oftentimes sewage into the human population, right?
Jeez.
And they didn't, because of the structure of the societies, they didn't develop these diseases that we had.
It makes sense though, you know? And it's funny because when people think of like the Middle Ages and they think of like old Europe, people have a tendency to romanticize it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But one of the things I love doing, if you come to Europe for a vacation or you live here, you go to these museums, man. It's always worth it. I've been to museums in Prague and Munich and Berlin and everywhere, and it's always worth it. And I did this one really cool one. I can't remember where it was. I think it might have been in Berlin, but they talked about like how fucking disgusting it was. Back then. You know, like you would shit in a bucket in your room and like throw it out the window.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like literally. You know, they were like there was just sewage running down the streets with like rotten
London
vegetables
apparently was the most disgusting fucking place you could imagine.
Yeah, it was.
The Thames was just a river of shit all the time.
And when we talking about this, we talked about like if people didn't take the garbage out of the cities, it would be absolutely unlivable and disgusting in like 3 days.
Right.
There is so much like refuse that we fucking produce.
Thank a garbage man every time you get a chance.
Seriously, it would be unlivable. you couldn't fucking live in society. But I also saw a thing where a guy talked about like Jericho and stuff like that, like way back, like in biblical times, and how it was the same thing. Like he was talking about how like literally on the side of the road there was just an endless river of like piss and shit and old like vegetables and meat and stuff
like just rotting meat and shit and piss.
Yeah, because there weren't refrigerators
dead
and stuff.
People
there weren't
everywhere.
Plumbing. Because I don't know if we talked about the podcast once, but I remember in university someone did this exercise with me where they were like, "What's the greatest thing ever invented?" in the history of inventions. And people often say like the internet or the printing press or maybe the wheel. Like there's all these classic ones. But man, the toilet's got to be up there. Plumbing has got to be
indoor no joke. I mean, seriously, it's one of the biggest reasons why disease infection has gone down.
Yeah.
Sanitation. Well, okay, maybe the discovery of microbiology and how microbes can affect the human body. Because before it wasn't, oh, you didn't wash your hands, you got sick. It was, oh, you looked at this woman wrong, and now you're a sinner, and God is punishing you.
Yeah,
Boom.
right.
That's what it was for the longest time.
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell you what, though, I had an experience recently where I went back in time.
Okay.
I went back in time.
Yeah.
And we up at our house at this what's it called? Vacation home that we have. My family has. The toilet went out.
Oh, you're talking about that one.
Yeah. Toilet went out.
Yeah.
In the morning.
You got a lot of people staying there.
I don't get to decide what's going on in the morning. Yeah. That's not my choice. It is happening whether I want it to or not.
Yeah.
And if there's a place available or not.
Yeah.
So no toilet. There was no chance of doing it there. I was going out into the wilderness.
Like a goddamn bear.
Like a goddamn bear. And it was. I told you. Remember, I told you about how I thought I would be really good at being homeless because I can find a good place to sleep at night. Yeah. And when I actually did it, it was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Hard as fuck to be comfortable, right? At all comfortable. I'm like, I never want to do that. Well, this one was one of those things where, I'm going to go, and I'm going to be good at shitting in the woods.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was miserable.
I think it's its own skill set. I think you could probably improve it, but there is nothing better than the toilet.
There's nothing better than the goddamn toilet. Although I got to say, so I tried to just recreate the toilet by leaning against something.
Okay.
You've never had a harder thigh workout in your entire life.
Yeah, wall sits are terrible,
wall
dude.
Sits are
if
fucking
you
terrible.
can wall sit for 30 seconds, you're doing well. And I mean, you're going to need more than 30 seconds,
But if you go to Japan, they have those holes in the ground, right?
Where you just squat.
And I got to tell you, that was not so bad.
Well, that's actually the body is meant to do it in that position.
Right.
That's the only downside of the toilet is your feet are too low. And so for a while on TV, I remember seeing they had these things where you would keep it next to your toilet, you would pull it out, and you would put your feet on it.
Well, no, actually, now, okay,
and
here we go.
That's the best because your organs are then, it's like
aligned.
It's like a king toes if your feet are too low.
It's like when your posture is bad,
yeah.
your pharynx kind of closes down. No, it's actually
I know,
pretty
I
good
just
analogy.
like how you brought it back to singing.
No, seriously though, my kids, they need to take a shit or to wash their hands or something, they need a stool. That stool is always near my toilet, and I always put my feet up on it.
Yeah, it's better.
It is objectively better.
Look, that's the one downside of the toilet. They should make, like on wheelchairs, you know how you have those metal things that come out and go down, you put your feet on them?
Yeah.
If they had that on toilets, where you just like pull those out and put your feet down on them.
I've never met a person.
That'd be the next
level.
Had
so many billion-dollar ideas. I've never met a person who has so many billion-dollar ideas and so clearly does not have $1 billion.
No. Because you need $1 billion to make $1 billion.
That's true. You need $1 billion to make $1 billion.
I just go in there with a wheelchair with a hole in it and try to sell the idea to people. It's a portable toilet.
Here you go. Put your feet on. Try it.
So we got a couple emails lately, and one of them was about how they saw the new Lion King movie, and the Timon voice reminded them of you. I think you would be a good Timon, man.
Who is it?
I don't know. I know the Pumbaa was Seth Rogen.
That makes sense.
He was good. Have you seen the new Lion King movie?
No,
yet?
I object to it.
The animation was, of course, amazing, but I was, in the end, I was disappointed by it.
Okay.
I was disappointed because they took all the balls out of the movie.
Okay.
And which I was excited because I'm pretty sure it was Hans Zimmer. It was the same composer as the first one. They had James Earl Jones doing Mufasa.
No, wait a minute. They had Donald Glover, I think it was.
Doing Simba. James Earl Jones.
Donald Glover. I'm thinking of Danny Glover.
Yeah, but James Earl Jones was definitely Mufasa. And Hans Zimmer did the music.
Cool.
But Hans Zimmer, he redid the music and he took some of the fucking balls out. You remember the music, like when there was the scene when like the antelope go into the valley? You remember that shit?
Yeah.
What are you looking up on your phone?
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I can't get the half yes.
Why is? Well, I'm just wondering why Timon is way down on the bottom, like of this list.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't figure it out. Anyway, go ahead.
So like there's this scene like you remember the original Lion King, right?
Yeah.
You have that in your mind. Like there's a scene where the antelope go into the valley and stuff like that, and there's this choral music from Hans Zimmer and all this like drum, like low brass, ballsy shit, right? And they somehow they made it punchy. They took all that out, you know? And then James Earl Jones, he has these iconic lines in the original Mufasa, right?
Right.
Where he's like, you know, everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Right.
Like, and he
Not
just
bad.
and
Not bad,
he lays into it.
Yeah.
And this one he was like, everything the light touches is our kingdom. Like he breezed through this, and then
he's like, I don't have much time left on this earth. I got to get through this script.
I felt like they just made it like fucking snappy, because the last one was timeless. You could watch that
Timeless.
like. Maybe the animation would be old and out of fashion, but like you could listen to it like a theater. What's that called on the radio? They used to do those theater pieces.
Oh yeah,
it would last forever like that.
radio
you know?
theater. Yeah.
Oh man, and I just
it's such a shame because I don't know. I don't understand why they feel the need to do this.
Yeah.
You cannot recreate that performance of James Earl Jones and oh God, who played Scar? God damn it!
Oh, that guy was good. Yeah.
Damn it! Why can't I think of his name? I just had it in my head.
The Scar though, because I'm always into the villains. That's like what I like.
Jeremy
you know?
Irons.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons' voice was so ridiculous.
It was so good, and the Scar they had was okay, but he didn't get the color range. You know, he found like an evil position to talk in, but he didn't have all the like the seducing stuff. Like the original Scar was straight up like Iago.
Jeremy Irons is one of the
stuff.
in my opinion, one of the most iconic voices
yeah.
ever to be in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing what he can do with his voice.
Yeah. And this song Be Prepared, they just
awesome.
Yeah, it is, but they glazed over it because they did all the same music, and it was kind of like this like musical theater talking with like a be prepared. Like, and then
did they
was
have
over.
did they do like the dictator Nazi reference in the new one, or were they too fucking pussy to do it?
No. with the people marching and looking over.
Absolutely.
No. They pushed out of a lot of stuff.
Fucking what is going on with the world today?
No, man.
No one is. You are not promoting Nazis if you refer to them. You're making Scar worse.
Yes.
You're telling people, look how bad this guy is.
Yeah, I know.
It's not, but there would be people tweeting, fucking, the new Lion King is promoting Nazism, blah, blah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nazis, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Give me a break.
There wasn't, no one risks now. No one risks.
No one risks.
Risk is gone. It has become such a risk-averse industry.
And risk-averse world.
Yeah.
It's really crazy because
it's not even risk.
Art is supposed to be able to do that stuff
boldly. It's supposed to provoke you.
Yeah.
There's many ways to provoke somebody. And that's why I like it in Germany, they still sometimes are willing to provoke people with hate. You know what I mean? Like, you can cry, you can laugh, but like also it's valid to make somebody hate a piece. I was involved in a piece like that recently where it was like the goal was we want to make people uncomfortable.
And
it's like, cool.
Make
them feel something.
Everything should.
And you and I, we have that in us. And a lot of Germans don't understand that, but it's like sometimes I want to fucking stir the pot. You know?
Can I tell you something? I really believe people who don't. Well, no, I can't say it in general, but you need to be. You need to make it recognize what makes you feel uncomfortable, and then feel uncomfortable a lot to grow.
Yeah, that's what growth is, man. Growing pains.
Exactly. Actually, Jack, he's riding his bike now. He's learning to ride his bike.
Okay.
And you know what he told me?
What?
I said, "Oh, you fell that time," and he's like, "Yeah, falling is learning." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, Jack."
That's one of those things where if you wrote it online, people wouldn't believe him.
I swear to God, he said it to me.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I said that to him or
if
somebody said that to him. He probably got it from somewhere. He didn't come up with it.
Well,
himself,
Jack,
probably.
Your son Jack, all the time, he'll just come in the room and say stuff. It's like, where the fuck did you learn that?
Yeah.
Because he's on YouTube, and it's like the video ends and the next one begins, and then he's just watching some guy talk about something random.
I mean, I've said it before, I think. I he watches YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I don't like everything he watches, like these fucking YouTubers. Some of these guys like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We gotta remember to smash that like button, right? He said smash that like button not too long ago.
That's
right?
terrifying, though.
It's
That's terrifying.
So I put the kibosh on some of that stuff, but the vocabulary he's learned is incredible.
Yeah.
We went to
There's pros and cons with that.
There's pros and cons.
Hey, while you're talking, I'm going to smash one of these donuts.
Smash one of those donuts. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe, baby. Click that bell if you want notifications. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we went to a camp, like a youth camp, right? Where my wife has been going, or went when she was really young, also, and now our kids are going to the same one, right? He had so much fun. It was insane. That just like they have these big things where you can climb a ladder that's 15 meters tall. It's huge, and he did it. Like he was pushing himself, right? And we went when we were leaving, and I'm not big. Again, it sounds like one of those things. Jack did not say that. I swear to God, he did. When we were leaving, we said bye to everybody, and then we were walking away, and he stopped, and he had his hand on his heart, and he says, Dad, my heart wants to cry. Write a song, Jack.
My heart wants to cry.
Those lyrics.
Falling is learning. Those are two. Hey, you could turn that into a good song about like adult shit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Falling is learning.
But
it's good shit, man.
I couldn't write the song. You could. You absolutely could.
We'll just start writing down his stuff, all right?
Fucking write it and let's do it.
All right. So we got a new sponsor, man.
Oh, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I took a huge fat bite of donut.
Every time.
So, all right.
Every time we get to thank somebody on the podcast.
So, hey, before we get into it, though, I wrote a sponsor theme, but I think I'm going to change it.
Why?
I had this idea, and I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, can we hear this draft?
Yeah, I guess. What I wanted to do is I wanted to remix the 24 Italian art songs.
Okay.
Right? And so I wrote one. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's a minute long, man.
Okay, that's too long.
That's a long time, yeah, but I'll just play the beginning for you, okay? Tell me if you recognize which one this is. All right, that's enough of that shit.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Maybe I'll put the whole minute online and you can listen to it if you want. But anyway, we got a new sponsor, Kira Neary, I think is how you say your name.
Sounds like a Lion King character.
Near, then with a Y on the end.
Sounds like it. Neary is
Kira
definitely...
Neary.
Kira Neary is definitely a Lion King character.
What animal?
Oh, God. I don't know. A dung beetle? Maybe?
Dude.
No, I'm just kidding.
She's a sponsor.
I know.
Why would you do that?
Who's the person? Yeah, oh, my God. Somebody asked me just the other day. It's just the way my brain works, right? Somebody asked me the other day, hey, Mike, I want to go home and watch a movie tonight, and I want a nice uplifting movie. The first two movies that came into my head were Schindler's List and The Deer Hunter. I don't know why.
Mike,
I don't know why like
what I like about you, man.
Sarcasm and irony are the two things that are strongest in my body.
You're fucked up, but you're honest, and I appreciate that about you. Kira
Anyway,
Neary.
it's not a dung beetle, Kira Neary.
Kira Neary. I mean, yeah, she's got to be like a. I don't know. You're a cheetah, okay?
Yeah, cheetah.
Kira,
you cheetah!
Yeah. You took that and even made it something weird. Kira, I sent you the password to the secret sponsor section. Go in there.
I'll give you the same advice as every other time. The Christmas. Well,
don't start with that. You got to ease into that.
I guess so, but that's fucking incredible.
But also for all of our other secret sponsors, I just put a video in there, like a 30-minute video, showing some of the stuff I did while Mike was out of town, like writing the music, getting the studio ready. And we just put something else in there. What was it? I guess a podcast or something. I don't know. We're dropping podcasts in there all the time. But there's...
Kira Neary, you are, by the way, you are helping us with our new project. We've got all kinds of new projects, but we have an extra room in here that is going to be a perfect recording studio.
Yeah.
And that's going to change the game. The two things are going to change the game. The video and the green screen that we're going to have, because those videos are coming out.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming out. The next mini opera is right around the corner, and the boom room, when it's done, is going to change the game, and it's people like you.
Yeah.
Who are making it happen.
Yeah, no, so thank you so much, Kira. I sent you the password. If you have any troubles, let us know. But thank you so much for your sponsorship. Anybody else, if you're interested in helping us out, go check out Patreon. We'll also be updating that soon.
Please help us out.
But we have a list of 100 ideas of things we're trying to do, and we can't talk about them all. But Mike and I last night or 2 nights ago had a really good meeting and came up with a new thing that is going to be cool. I've already started. I got some of it.
Do
done.
you really?
Yeah,
Do you have
I can
some?
show you after.
But look, you said I'm weird but honest, right?
Yeah,
the one
true.
thing I think is when people ask for sponsors, like if you go to PBS, the way it happens is a little patronizing. It's a little patronizing because
Nice.
you know what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to just flat out beg you for money.
Yeah, but they have to trick you into
But
donating.
they don't.
You can't trick people into donating.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. You recognize it right away. You recognize the desperation
Yeah.
in their voices, even though they're doing everything they can to hide it. And why can't we just be honest? Why can't I just
be
break
desperate.
down? Why can't I just break down and
cry.
tell you how much money SDAO is taking out of my children's mouths, right? Every single day. Why can't I cry and have you and say, please?
Yeah. You think Mike and I don't have student loans? All right.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Also another update. Mike, I guess you were right. It's Kilkenny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got written in by some Irish people. It's not Kilkenny. Like I always just that was because I have never heard that spoken out, and no waiter ever. What's the fucking word? Corrected me.
you. You know, you have a plethora of fucked up pronunciations that you have in your thing, right?
Yeah.
But when you sing, they don't come through. Your pronunciation is as good as everybody else's, even though you say thank you and Kilkenny and
I don't know, man.
and whatever else you fucking say.
I just grew up dumb.
You just grew up.
I just grew up fucking dumb. Kilkenny. I'm gonna try to build that habit. Okay. It just sounds so weird. It sounds like you're ordering them to do something.
Kilkenny, though, sounds
Kilkenny,
like...
please. Kilkenny, please.
Right, you bastards.
But Kilkenny sounds like a place.
Kilkenny.
I'm from Kilkenny. Sounds like a fucking place, man.
You just did the rapiest Irishman I've ever heard. I'm from Kilkenny.
I was gonna.
You want to go to my house in Kilkenny?
I was gonna go to Lucky Charms with it, but I don't know. That would have been too much. That's your color. That's your plan.
Right, that's definitely my play.
Yeah, man. So, sponsorship. Also, the merch shop is up and running. We're gonna add
Buy
some
a
stuff
shirt,
in there.
people.
Yeah, believe it or not, Mike and I have shit sometimes that takes up our attention in life, but we're working we're working hard on it. But the merch shop is up. We got lots of stuff in there. We got the shirts, the stickers. You'll also see some funny advertisements for that coming soon.
And the hats, baby. The hats are of such high quality, it's ridiculous.
No, the hats are great.
I can't believe that we got the maker Richardson hats. They do hats all over the country for all different sorts of companies.
No, that's
and they're doing it for us.
Yeah.
That was kind of a nice little thing that they agreed to work with us.
Yeah. And so But
when we approach people with our shit, I'll say, listen to this episode. The Tosca one is the one I always go to.
Okay.
Everybody seems to like the Tosca episode for some reason, right? And
I think the sex is the most downloaded, but that's a hard first
really?
episode. Yeah.
Well, you gotta. These
No
people
pun
are
intended.
obviously
No pun
outside of opera, right?
Mhm.
So we want to show them that you can talk about opera in a different way,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And that's what people outside of the thing are interested in.
Yeah.
They see it and they're like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know it was about a guy who just wants to fuck everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and he's got power and he's using it, right?
Mm.
And then that says, yeah, that's a cool thing, and that's why they decided to work with us. So it's really, thank you, Richardson hats, and go buy one. Support them, support us.
Yeah, get one of these opera fetish posters too.
Oh, fetish, baby.
Fetishes, baby. Opera is my fetish. Which it's funny. Can I tell the story of how we came up with that poster and why?
Yeah, sure.
Can I? Okay, so we found out that a friend of ours was going to be on TV, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And he told us a guy. Well, he's on the podcast. Well, I shouldn't say his name.
Yeah, okay, whatever. He's
on TV with the poster in the background, right?
Right.
So Georg, he was on the podcast. Was that this season? It must have been, right?
Maybe.
That seems like so long ago. Anyway, Georg, we talked about fitness with this guy. He's on the podcast.
He's the 3-time powerlifting champion of Bayern.
And so he told us that like some big national thing was going to come record him about
Bayerische Rundfunk.
about this French piece he was doing, and he was going to be in a dressing room, and they were going to like show him doing some yoga or some shit. And so I think it was your idea. It's like, can we put some like fucking merch behind you?
I honestly think it was his.
Yeah.
He came to me. He's like, look, dude. They asked me where we could film. I said right in the dressing room. He's like, you should deck this place out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. And then it was your idea for the poster.
Well, then you called me and you said we need a poster. So then I sent you that night like 10 different mock-ups of like
some pretty good posters too.
Like I can't remember all the one-liners, but it was like opera is my fetish, like opera makes my dick explode. Like I don't know, that wasn't one, but there was all this dirty shit. And
write us in if you want an opera makes my dick explode. We could have those printed, I think.
Yeah, sure. That guy would print anything. But anyway, you said opera is my fetish. You were like, I like that one. And so then we just tweaked the font. We put it out there, and it's just sitting right behind him. And it's hilarious because he's doing yoga with that fucking thing just staring you in the face. But the one we printed for that is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, but ours are more like college dorm room style.
Yeah, we got college dorm room opera is my fetish posters.
Which, it's funny, I don't know if that makes sense, but there is a fetish called... It's when sounds turn you on. It's like voyeurism, but with sounds. But there's actually one for music that has a name.
Well, a really common one is water. People are often it's one of the more common oral.
Like they like the sound of water.
Oral.
No, it's called oralism. Oralism is like.
You mean AU? Oralism.
Oralism, yeah. It's like a sexual fetish as to sounds.
Exactly. No, that's what I mean. And then water seems to be a really, really popular one.
So it's like raining, and they're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, there are people who get aroused by thunderstorms also. I mean, I understand that.
I just made someone cream. Yeah. But the one for music is called like Meliolania, I think it's called, or something.
Oh, yeah?
And that's not sound, but like when you hear like music, like Rite of Spring comes on, you're just like No, not is that the Rite of Spring?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking something different. Yeah, sure. I was thinking pum pum pada pum 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 pum.
That is not anywhere fucking
I know.
close, dude.
I'm fucking. It's early.
Well, it's the 4 seasons.
The 4 seasons. Vivaldi.
Spring is a season.
Yeah, so I was close. Yeah,
sense.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, man. So I mean, that's the thing. So I guess those people would have an opera fetish.
Absolutely,
but
maybe
opera's too big to actually like have it be a fetish. There would be some aspect of it that would be a fetish to you.
Well.
Like the leather, the costumes, the sounds, you know?
No, well, the sounds maybe. Maybe just the sound of operatic singing can be a fetish to people.
So like pop singing's no, but as soon as you pop that pharynx open and get that palate up, then suddenly they're
Why
like,
not?
I like that.
Why aren't we worthy of being
Dude,
fetish worthy?
There's literally billions of people on the planet.
Someone,
when that pharynx pops open, they're like...
Somebody is just popping on Corelli and fucking jerking off mad.
Yeah, they got like that... No good, but you're like, that shit, that gets them, right?
Oh, yeah. When that larynx is depressed or floating down, that's oof.
They get them. I'm going to look up some top fetishes here. You got any fetishes you want to tell the people about, Mike? No, don't.
People were talking about we were talking about poop earlier.
Oh,
that takes it back. What do you know what that's called? I have no idea.
No,
but
they all have a name, though.
That poop and pee. Those are pretty common ones.
I'm at allure.com, okay? These are the top 10 fetishes. Impact play. What do you think that is?
Striking.
Yeah.
People.
That's spanking, flogging, paddling, and other forms of consensual striking.
Uh-huh.
A light slap on the bum.
They didn't write bum.
Yeah, they did. Impact play can range from a light slap on the bum to a crack of the whip.
See, doesn't that kind of piss you off?
What?
You're talking about sexual fetishes and you feel the need... well, no, I guess it doesn't piss me off because you can use whatever fucking language you want to. But doesn't that kind of smack you? Doesn't that kind of smack of we're trying to not like get demonetized or something?
Well, that's what I mean is like if you're gonna talk about something, like
talk about it.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like if you're talking about like parenting techniques, maybe don't say. And when your fucking kid comes in with shit on their face, don't just fucking like maybe that's not the right time to have that language. But if you're talking about like fetishes and shit, shouldn't you be allowed to like use like the terms for the things involved?
Striking an ass.
Like I've always thought it's weird. Like I remember I was in Barnes and Noble once with someone, and there was a book like half off reduced, and it was like some sort of like blowjob technique book.
Right.
But of course they called it something like way more noble than that.
Right.
You know, it was like pleasing your partner with like oral
mouth
something.
music.
Yeah, it was something like that. And they used the most scientific terms, you know. And it was like, and as the like, I can't even do it because I wouldn't call it those things.
Well, okay, you can. Okay, so what we
You
do
don't have
is
to be
we,
you don't have to be vulgar with it, but like just call it a dick, man. You
it's
know.
when I get the feeling that someone wants to call it a dick and instead calls it a penis,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or somebody wants to call it an ass but instead calls it a bum. But so we talk about opera in a new sort of tone.
Yeah.
It's fine whatever tone you want to take.
No, that's true.
I just think that you shouldn't censor yourself.
It's like, well,
And when I get
funny,
the feeling that somebody's censoring themselves, I recoil.
anytime someone says the word anus, they're censoring themselves. No one says anus. You say butthole, right? Are there people that just say that normally?
I say crinkle star.
Yeah, you've covered it. All right, impact play, role playing.
That's fun.
That's number 2. You
That's
don't
fine, but you
don't
gotta-
have to stop playing make believe when you grow up.
You really, really, really have to commit. Like,
Yeah.
both people have to commit. If there's a break in it, man, that boner goes straight to the floor.
It's weird if that must be weird, right? If you're acting and then they're not, all
and
of a
then they
sudden.
break for some reason,
Yeah.
which is really hard if there are kids anywhere within 100 meters of you or 100 yards of you, right?
Oh,
Because the threat of on the door or the threat of them just walking in is you can't be plumbing service
Yeah.
and then have a kid walk in, you know? That doesn't work.
Oh man, role-playing scenarios range from classic schoolgirl and professor scenes to more taboo such as daddy dom and little girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's that.
There it is. They went from striking a bum to daddy dom.
Yeah. Foot
Same
fetish. Foot fetish is there.
There's something really interesting about the foot fetish, right?
Okay,
because
tell me.
So people did some analysis of like fetish
Throwing these
searches,
stones at each other. Yeah.
fetish searches.
Mm.
Foot fetish dominates the world of fetishes.
Oh, yeah.
Dominates.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it seems that there's a scientific reason for it.
Okay.
There are different spots in the brain. Like, it's not just that your brain generally processes sensory, the senses in different parts of your body.
Okay.
It's that it processes it in specific spots in the body.
Okay.
Now, remember I talked about like why when you look up at a light, it makes you sneeze, and they say those two nerves that go through your face for sneezing and for light are right. They run right next to each other.
Okay.
And what they say is that the theory is that when you look up at a light,
it like confuses your brain.
No. It's that when the stimulation runs through that nerve, it sympathetically activates the sneezing.
I
right?
see. Okay.
So, the sensory part, or the sensory perception part in your brain for your genitals is located directly right beside toes and feet.
So if you're sucking toes, then it's like it's gonna sympathetically.
That's kind of the theory.
I see.
Because it's way like when it comes to feet, it's not even like it's like 50% of the fetish searches.
Oh yeah,
or something like that.
Well, I mean, there are people making money, which is crazy, right? Because like if you're like a cam girl or something like that, you know what I mean? It's like you're like doing full on like sex stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you got to be worried about people like finding that or something. It might affect your life. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on what your inner circle's like. But if you're doing feet stuff, you know, it's like you're just showing your feet to people.
Yeah.
Is that a different level? You know what I mean?
Well,
because I know a girl. I had a friend who was selling shoes online, and a guy wrote her and said, "If you send me a picture of you wearing the shoes, I will buy the shoes for $700." Like she was selling like the shoes for like $100, and he offered. I don't know if it was $700, but it was definitely like over $500. It was a lot of money.
Did she do it?
No, because she thought it was weird, and I was like, I'll shave my feet. You can paint my toenails. Like, I'll do this, you know? And it was like a third-party thing. It was anonymous. Like, he wouldn't have known her address or something like that, but she didn't want to do it. But it's like...
I guess I understand.
I guess it's a slippery slope, you know? I don't know.
Well, look, I mean, if you're a woman and you're in the Sears catalog and doing lingerie, you must be aware, or I guess it's not this way anymore. Back then, Sears Catalog Day, woo, baby. When you were a boy growing up, Sears Catalog Day is a big day,
you go
right?
Steal the old ones out of the
steal the old ones,
out of the recycling.
Those big thick things with the really thin paper. Do you remember?
Yeah.
They were huge. Anyway, it doesn't matter what the intent is. People are aroused by what they're aroused by. Period.
Yeah,
you know?
sure, of course.
There's nothing like a little pubescent boy cannot help that when he looks at a woman in a bra and panties that he is aroused. That's just what happens. And these people who are aroused by feet cannot. It's not that you can necessarily help that you're aroused by those feet.
Well,
you know?
and if
you shouldn't fuck around with people.
No, and look,
that doesn't give you license, but still,
if the weekly creepy messages that you and I get are an indicator of anything, is that if you put yourself out there in any way, what you're doing is going to be interpreted in a way that you would never think of it being interpreted.
It's kind of the wonderful thing about the world.
Yeah, so like if you put yourself out there, you just with the good and the bad, there's always gonna be some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Anyway, what is foot fetish called? Do you know?
Foot fetish.
Yeah, no. But is there like a scientific name or something like that?
I don't know. I'll see. I got Edge over here. I'm not gonna be able to do it. You got the phone. You can look. I don't know. I got no internet, man.
What are the other ones? Do you still have the website up?
I closed it. There's normal shit.
There's
you know
one.
what I mean?
There's one called hybristophilia.
Okay.
That's being turned on by illegal activity. Or
illegal,
bad activity, but being turned on by like criminals and danger.
So
and
not like
cheaters.
kleptomania. Like I steal something and it turns me on, but like I say like I just robbed a bank, and they're like, oh my god,
you're so dangerous.
Okay,
it's the bad boy thing.
Yeah, sure.
It's the women being attracted to the bad guys. You know, that's called hybristophilia.
Okay, I see. The bad boy thing's a real thing, but I think that's more of because it goes both ways. You know, bad boys, but also guys like bad girls. You know, but I think
absolutely.
I think it's more of it's the confidence in there, right?
I guess, but there's some danger involved too.
Yeah, but like I don't actually think like maybe danger, but I think it's more of like spontaneity, confidence, excitement. I think those are more of the things that people are drawn to.
Yeah,
and those situations kind of cause that.
Maybe, but one of the other huge searches online is stepbrother, stepsister.
That too, I think, is not
wrong.
actually. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, it's not that someone wants to like fuck their brother or sister. I think it's more of like this whole like, should we be doing this? Like,
right.
That's what people are drawn
right.
onto. Yeah. No, I think you're right. Before we go on to the tip here, though, I want to say one of my favorite. Maybe I've said this on the podcast before, but one of my favorite fucking things that has happened because of the internet is the fact that Pornhub releases statistics of who watches what and where, and it's always the most racist parts of the country are watching the most interracial porn,
right.
And the most homophobic part of the countries are watching the most gay porn.
Yep.
I fucking love it.
I
the
know.
most religious parts are watching more porn than anybody. I think Utah's number one. Every year, I love that.
Utah is not only number one, but it's all the sort of shit that you wouldn't they wouldn't want you to know.
Yeah. And it's like
brilliant.
You can't hide from it,
Right.
And it's like Pornhub is not revealing individual data, but it's like, boom.
How
like,
many?
There you fucking
how
go.
many preachers?
Yeah.
How many preachers?
Yeah.
Like really conservative, gay bashing, gays are going to hell preachers have been caught in truck stops.
Yeah.
Just getting sweaty, nasty
That's
hand
how
jobs.
it is. You always have to be a little bit careful about like, people who are super passionate about something, they're super against something.
Why do you think about this so much is the question.
Well, but it's like I mean in the world, like not just like with those big political issues, but with like normal like I don't fucking trust that guy. He's probably a cheater. It's like, man, like you kind of seem to know a lot.
You kind of want to suck his dick.
Well, but also it's like if you are in that world, you know how easy that is to do, and then you're going to be accusing other people. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes you got to be careful. People are too passionate about something. It's like because they're projecting their insecurities of their flaws and weaknesses onto other people. Because if I do it, they must do it. You know what I mean?
It's just shocking how often it happens.
Yeah.
That is like the most common story in the world. These people who are preaching to everybody about morality, blah, 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 are some of the least fucking moral people in the world. And it pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were watching something the other day on YouTube, Yeah, it's like Facebook and everything. The normal people have the quietest voices. Just normal, like logical, rational. Like, well, that seems ridiculous.
Right.
Like they'd never comment because I all the time I'm in these groups on Facebook, like singer groups and other things, and I always go to write a comment, and I'm just like, I don't want to fucking deal with this.
Right.
I don't want some weirdo fucking commenting on my shit about like something, interpreting it in some way that I didn't do, and now they're painting this thing that I didn't say. It's like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to open my phone after a hard day of work and like have to deal with that. And so then I don't comment. But the crazy fucking people.
I wonder if that's a fetish. There must be people who like
comment
start.
chains.
Yeah, exactly. Start Facebook comment arguments and then just jerk off.
Yeah, man,
I mean,
trolls, dude.
Yeah, they're basically trolls, but I don't necessarily mean trolling. I just mean people like who are like, because trolls are, they have the, like, they just want to say, they don't care about saying what they believe or anything like that. They just want to get whatever's going to piss people off in the most extreme, disgusting way. Right?
Yeah, sure.
I understand that because there's a part of me that thinks it's hilarious, right?
Every artist, that's what we said at the beginning of the podcast. Yeah, you have to have a touch of that in you.
Yeah, of course. And then there are
you want to provoke people.
Yeah, but then there are people who are just, I know these people disagree with me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure that I post as much on their shit as possible because I want to get into that fight. People, well, I guess maybe that's the fetish, is fighting, is arguing.
Yeah, you got some of that.
Which I definitely have some of that.
You got that bad, dude.
I understand that.
I've walked away from a few campfires.
Come on, prove it.
Something you can't say to Mike is, I don't want to talk about this anymore. You can't do that. Why not?
Is that your Michael Pegger?
That's too early. I can't get up there. All right. Let me play some music here. Suck those toes.
Opera's my fetish.
Just the tip, love.
If you get your toes sucked a lot, you probably got a preferential toe, right?
I would imagine.
Right?
I would imagine.
It's got to be the pinky or the big toe. There's no way it's the pointer toe.
You know what?
Or the ring toe.
Maybe. Why couldn't it be the ring toe?
It's hard to get to.
No, it's not.
If you suck the middle toe, you got to like part the grass.
Yep.
Yeah, and like, have you ever spread your toes apart like that before? It kind of hurts. Or you put all of them down and you pull it up.
The pleasure is in the work. The pleasure's in the journey.
That's true.
And if it's difficult to get to, it's like forbidden.
Yeah.
It's like the weed of the toes because it's not allowed. You want it more. I want that fucking second toe.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll bet you the one that's hardest to get to is the absolute middle toe.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You're having to push out both on each side.
Yeah, and you can't push it out. No, because see, that's a bad technique because you can't get your cheeks down in there. You got to put
your cheeks.
Yeah, if you're sucking toes, you got to get down low. You got to get to the. You got to get to the.
I thought you meant like your ass cheeks, like
you got to suck all the way down to the balls of the foot.
I thought you were saying like somebody is putting just the middle toe in someone's ass.
No. What I'm saying though is a better technique would be to put the other four down and you do the middle finger, but with the toe.
Yeah, maybe, but is it that long? Is it long? Well, I cannot speak to toe sucking
let's
technique.
try some stuff out later.
Did you hear my rhyme? I cannot speak to toe sucking technique.
Yeah, that was okay. That was okay.
Perfect rhyme.
It was like a haiku. How many syllables was that? Don't count. You're counting.
No, I'm not. I don't give a fuck.
All right. So we got just the tips. Again, these people wrote in through our website. You're completely anonymous, but people always tell us all their personal information anyway, and then I don't read it. Hey, guys.
Why every single fucking time?
They always do it, man. It's a thing now.
I'm starting to get annoyed by the way you say it, though. Like, straight up, honest to God, annoyed. But whatever. Go ahead. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Love the podcast. It's so refreshing to hear opera and life discussed in such a fun, chill way. I'm starting my first year of my master's at... I'm not saying it, in August. I'm pretty nervous. I've been prepping for theory, history, and piano, placement exams, as well as opera auditions. Any advice on how to not be so nervous and overwhelmed? Any tips on how to survive grad school?
You had to be nervous and overwhelmed. Like the only thing I have ever discovered that is good for getting rid of nerves is preparation and actually knowing your shit, understanding your shit.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's the only thing I know of.
There's still an amount of nervousness. Like you can know your aria really, really well, but you're still gonna be nervous at an audition. That's more performance anxiety.
It has nothing on if if you are unprepared,
Yeah.
or if you
completely.
Or if you're not having a good day that day with your voice, those times are like, you can't do anything against that.
Yeah.
Except prepare.
But when you're talking about like this type of stuff, preparation for sure. But also, it's always better to do 5 minutes every single day than an hour once a week. You know what I mean? With all that stuff, with theory, with history, with piano. Because I remember when I was in grad school, it's like with the sight singing that stressed a lot of people out.
Yeah.
And they'd go to a practice for 2 hours on Saturday and be like, do, re, mi, re, fa, mi, re. And like they'd be doing this shit. But it's like, I just did it every time I brushed my teeth in the mornings and evenings. 2 minutes a day, like in the morning, evening, and you can get really good at these skills, like piano scales. Don't sit there and do C major for 2 hours on a Saturday. Just do 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening, and it becomes such like a part of your life that it's like you do it every single day.
Yeah, the everyday thing is important.
Do less every day. It's more valuable, I think.
I think I could agree with that. And at night, if you really want to jam something into your head, then at night before you go to bed, your brain repeats.
Yeah, but if you have time with memorization, it's the same way, you know, because people will like take their arias 2 times a week and just fucking pound the shit out of them. But it's like if you just read through it every day, yeah. But this is preparation stuff.
I mean, this is preparation stuff. Other than that, you know, remember that university is not. It's not like, I mean, this is how it's presented to people. Go there and get this piece of paper. You should be taking this time to just be curious.
Yeah.
And curious and curious and curious.
Yeah.
It is your time where they say, yeah, you can be as curious as you want and just learn. But the problem with it is it turns into like a competition and a like a job almost. Just try to stay curious, and you'll be a better student for it. And don't be nervous. Come on, everybody's in the same boat as you.
Yeah, no, and I agree completely. People at grad school have a tendency to be like future oriented. You know, like they're already thinking about the YAP and the career and the Europe and shit.
Right.
But try to go with the day to day. Don't make it blow up into this big fucking thing. Just master your skills. Be curious. You know, like explore your instrument and find your artistry. You know?
Exactly. And when you find something that you think is cool, like if you're, I don't know, fucking Gesualdo, right? Read about it. Just like do it in your off time, like because there's so much information.
Ever since I graduated from university, the things that I regret the most is one, I didn't realize how fucking hard it was going to be to practice regularly because I don't have a space.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless you're like fest at a theater, if you do guesting like I do, it's like you're either singing in your apartment and pissing off your neighbors, but it's like to be in a music school where you're encouraged to be in that room making noise.
Right.
8 hours a day, it bothers nobody. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I miss that.
Yeah.
Practice and don't learn all your dream arias. Learn all the shit you're going to need. Learn the Bach Weihnachts Oratorium. You know, learn the shit that people...
No, I won't.
Like, not that, but you know what I mean? Like, the shit that actually is going to make you money when you need it.
Yep.
Because there's so many standard pieces that nobody ever forced me to learn.
Right.
You know, and it's like, now I don't got the fucking time to do it. And then also, like learning. I don't have time to learn now. Like you said, if you like someone, read about it.
Right.
You have time. Explore all that shit. And like, all the music history stuff, it does come back, you know? Learn it now. All right, moving on. Number 2. Thanks for writing in.
Hey, God.
You saying the way I say something annoying is like so hypocritical. Mike, you walk around this studio for hours. You were singing, what were you singing yesterday the whole day? Like some sort of show tune or something. And you do it.
I can't remember what it was.
It's crazy because you did it for like 5 hours straight.
There was something in my head and I couldn't get it out.
Yeah, but you didn't sing it normally. You always do these weird voices. And you're like, it's crazy that I can't remember it because I heard it for 5 hours straight.
I know I'm a hypocrite. This is not news.
I wish
this
I could.
This is not news. Anyway, hey guys.
You'd be like, you do these weird fucking. Yeah, that voice. That makes me want to kill myself, dude. Oh, God. Okay. Hey, I'm a new listener to the podcast. So sorry if you've already covered this. Anyways, do y'all think a social media presence is necessary as young artists? I've been told by a lot of people that it is, but I'm not really comfortable making posts and updates and such. Would love to get your opinion. Also, please bring back the distressed mother goat. Okay.
I did already today.
Yeah, you weren't even.
What was it? Why did I do it today again?
I don't know, man. We just
some sort of fetish.
We live in the moment, man. We don't fucking Hakuna Matata. Okay. Social media. I think it's not. Honestly, I think.
Well,
it's not.
if you have an established career, yeah, you should. You got to pet those fans. But
yeah,
if you're young, and you are just trying to. You can do it if you want, but it's not
honestly.
necessary.
You don't need it because there was a point in time. I will say there were a few years where it was valuable, but now you're just part of the white noise.
No, but wait. Yeah, but so if you are a popular like Jonas Kaufman,
yeah,
if he doesn't have an Instagram, but that means he's losing Instagram revenue.
Yeah.
Somebody with that following, you're losing money if you're not doing it, and people want to see it.
As a young artist, she said, as a social presence. If you're famous, that's a different thing because now that's what being a celebrity is.
Or if you have an established career, people will follow you. You should definitely you should think about it. It's nice PR that's free.
Yeah.
But if it's like you have an established social media and everything record before you're even in your first yap or anything, sorry.
No one gives a fuck.
Concentrate on the other shit.
And you can buy this shit. There was a girl that I used to sing with, and she overnight went from she had 500 followers to 107,000.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, like I don't know what she did, but I looked through her. And I was like, how the fuck did this happen? It's 20 likes on a photo, 30 likes on a photo, 7,000 likes on a photo.
Yeah, she bought it.
Yeah, you could because there's these like farms or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the point is your presence and your engagement and all that stuff doesn't fucking matter anymore. But also, I don't think it's getting anyone jobs because there's too many fucking people. Everybody knows how to be the promoter now, and you're just part of the white noise. Yep. You're just part of the fucking white noise. But you are right.
SDAO will never do that. We'll never buy our likes.
No. And if you're famous though, then in today's world of how hard it is to hold someone's attention, right? The sensationalist, every 2 minutes something fucking new world. If you're famous, you'll fade. You'll fade from fans.
Yeah.
Because that's a different game. When you're famous, it's like opera houses are booking you because your name brings tickets.
Right.
It goes beyond skill and all that shit at that point. That's a different game, and that's not what she's talking about. As a young artist, fuck it. But you do need media online. People do need to find your YouTube videos and your photo.
I would say a website is more important so that somebody can go and do it, or at least having them on YouTube.
Yeah,
the websites, like a young artist's website is, I guess, can be important and is fun to have, but it's more just important that you have files somewhere that somebody can see.
Yeah, I just sent out a thing for an agent, a pretty good agent here in Germany, not young artist stuff, but professional stuff, and they're headshot, cover letter, resume, YouTube link.
Yeah.
No one has ever asked me for a website link. I send it. I don't know if they go. You know what I mean? But they just want to fucking see a video. And YouTube is honestly the easiest way. You embed it into an email, the video pops up. If you have a YouTube video online, it's enough. No one's fucking Googling you. No one's Googling fuck, I need a soprano. Frankfurt soprano. Everyone has agents, connections. You know what I mean? It's the same way. If we needed a bass for a show right now, what would we do?
We'd just call one of our friends.
Yeah, we'd call one of our friends, and if they didn't know someone, they would say a name we've never heard before. I would go to YouTube, I would type their name, I would listen to them sing, and then I'd call them.
Yep.
I wouldn't go to a fucking website, read their fucking calendar and their thoughts on the world.
Only if that were the very first thing that was there. But again, then when you do that, you have to click through. You have to navigate the website. Why not just send a link of what you want them to hear?
People just want to fucking know if you can sing. Yeah. They don't care about your philosophy.
So
if you don't like doing it, don't fucking do it. It's not necessary.
And if you want to do it, that's fine. But don't think that that's what's going to get you the job. It's not.
Well, because also I think social media is a weird thing. To spend a little bit more time on this, I think it's a valuable topic. Sometimes if you have your 100 friends or whatever, it's and you got 3 or 4 singer friends, maybe your perception of the world isn't quite that. But me and Mike doing SDAO is incredible because we look at thousands and thousands and thousands of Instagram profiles, right? Everyone we follow, everyone that interacts with a singer. So I have seen 20,000 of these profiles, and they're all the fucking same.
Yep.
And maybe in your little world of your mom and your grandma and your friends from high school, and then your 2 singer friends, you look at them and you're like, wow, they're really doing good shit. But anyone who has an opera company and they're being followed by thousands of singers, it's just white noise. You can't look at it.
Yeah.
Everyone's got the headshot, the pool pic, the food, the fucking videos, the arias, the recital. It's too much, man.
I get more and more skeptical and cynical as I go on. And the one thing I cannot take are ultra serious headshots anymore. And I'm sure I'm guilty. I have them on my website, but
you need them at some point.
I know, but it's just this serious longing look. I'm like, what the fuck? I know what it takes to make a picture like that. And I just think to myself, isn't it a little embarrassing that you go there? And
I know, and I have those too.
know?
But it's like, I do know, because it's this fake shit. And I mean, that's why but that's why we started this podcast, Mike, is because it's like, why the fuck can't we just all be honest?
Right.
Why can't everyone be honest? You can be a normal fucking person and still go on stage and give a fantastic opera performance to the standard, legitimate, good opera singing, and you can be a normal fucking person.
Can I tell you? Let's tell them this. This is why we don't have more guests on.
Yes,
because
people write us all the time, but it's this ladder climbing fucking shit, and
it's
we can't.
really, really, really difficult to find. So you will know a person that will be really cool.
Yeah.
Put them in front of a microphone, and they turn into an impression of Renee Fleming doing an interview, or Leontine Price, or whoever they saw giving an
I
interview.
have been shocked. Not just on this, but like you see castmates, and then like suddenly a reporter comes in the room, and it's like, invariably, the process of creating the character of Iago, I had to dig within myself and find, like, it's like, what the fuck are you saying, man? You're emulating like whoever, like,
fucking quit it. Fucking quit it. No one's gonna make good there are so many people that get away with giving the impression of making art.
Yeah.
And the problem is that there aren't many people who can see the difference between there aren't many people who can see the difference between a fake diamond and a real diamond.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I fancy myself as being one of those people, and I look at them and I'm like, this is hurting me.
Yeah.
It hurts me to see people not fucking be, and it's just all this fakeness. It's all the glitz and glamour of being what an opera singer should be.
Yeah,
and these interviews are the worst.
We've said it before on the show, but it is valid to have a career for the fame aspect of it and not the artistry. It is valid. It's valid. Like, I guess.
Yeah.
To be
I'm
like,
just saying it doesn't have anything to do with art.
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with us. We can definitely say that much.
That's right.
You know? You want to do one more?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Does it have to do with fetishes?
No, this is called Consent and Don Giovanni.
Oh, God. Okay, go ahead. Oh, God, here we go.
Hey, guys.
Bravo.
In the drugs episode, you talked about the importance of saying no when pushed too far outside your comfort zone on stage. I have a pretty relevant story from a summer program. For this program, one of the aspects was to prepare an excerpt from an opera. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm breezing here. Don Giovanni tries to seduce Serlina. Okay, so it's Don Giovanni thing. They did a frat party. It's a little ballsy from the director to do that.
Why?
I guess in today's climate, I don't know.
Why?
I guess Don Giovanni is rapey, right?
Yeah, he's totally
So
rapey.
might as well make him a frat boy.
Why?
Okay, so frat party where
not?
So they put it in a frat party where Don Giovanni gets me drunk and tries to get me to bed. I was 16, a soprano with pretty much no experience under my belt.
16?
She was 16. It was a summer thing. The baritone was 10 years older. Everybody was older, so everyone was in the mid-20s. She was 16. And because of a history of family history of sexual assault, and teenage insecurity, she felt very uncomfortable, but she had this desire to please, so she didn't say anything. This led to numerous bathroom breakdowns and stiff acting. I was able to work through it, but it was tough. The takeaway from this is speak up when you can. It was so fixable. I should have said something. It would have been easier.
Wait,
right?
Fixable? What? In what way? What do you mean?
I skimmed it. It's a long email. I skimmed it, but like basically, she said that she could have spoken up and they could have adjusted it, but she just said nothing.
Oh, I don't know. People might not like my opinion about this, but
well, so you keep in mind she's 16 at a training program. She's
16,
not a professional.
16 at a training program, but
yeah.
Don Giovanni is adult material.
Yes,
is adult material.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and art is. There is art for children, but Don Giovanni is not that. Yeah. It's not a children's opera.
Yeah.
And the people, if you're going to do what is in Don Giovanni, you have to be able to approach it as an artist and be open with it, right? Now, she obviously experienced something that I've never experienced, and my heart goes out to her.
Yeah.
But I have to say, on the other side, is the director. It is legitimate if they were doing something that was way outside of what Don Giovanni's about, I would understand, but this is not outside of what Don Giovanni's about, right? Mm-hmm. Now, to say no would maybe mean that they change it. Yeah. It might mean that you don't do it. that you just don't do Selena in this thing.
Yeah.
Either one of those is a legitimate thing. If the director says, "Okay, I'll change it," fine.
Yeah.
But if they say, "I don't want to change it," then you have to then you have to say, "Well, okay, then maybe I don't do this." If you're not ready to do it, that's fine.
Yeah, they just said that woman that.
But it's not wrong for them to say no.
No. Like that woman that she didn't want to do the blackface in Aida, whatever. So she said no.
Tamara Wilson.
Yeah, and so then the next one said yes. It's like whatever, man. It's like.
Well, no, she did it. She ended up doing it.
Right.
If you guys don't know about this, Tamara Wilson, she was singing at the arena in Verona, and she decided she didn't want to do. Okay. They do black body paint because of Aida being being in Africa, right?
Mm.
And she said she didn't want to do it. It was a bit of a stink because the production is over 100 years old, right? And no one's ever done that. But what they did was they did lighter body paint, right? She was doing it because of she was protesting because of the history of blackface, and it being not acceptable. Of course, it's fucking crazy. But Americans are particularly I can say this now being in Europe for a while. Americans are more honed to that sensibility than others, right?
Yeah, every country has its history, you know?
Right. And she ended up doing it. And actually, I think... I don't know what I think about it.
Well, I wasn't trying to get into it. I was just mentioning that she said no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She said no and then compromised.
And the point I was trying to make is that, like, as Selena, it's like something I have found is it's usually better to take a day and think about it. And then not in the rehearsal, or something. It's usually better to get it out in the open. This is difficult for me. And they might still say, I want you to do it, but they will understand that it's difficult for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe they won't push the sing as much. Maybe they'll be like, let's mark through it. Like,
as an artist, you are going to have to do a lot of things that are uncomfortable for you.
Yeah. And it's not a black and white, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
But as an artist, I think when you work with people, because as a young artist, like with coaches and stuff, I remember that I always had this, like she said, a desire to please. Like I was always like, they would ask me to do something in my coaching. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. But now it's just like, no, I disagree with that. Like, I appreciate you saying that, but I don't want to do that for these reasons. These are my reasons why. And sometimes they'll be like, nah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a real professional working relationship. When they tell you where they're coming from, and you're like, well, this is where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Now you're working together instead of just being told what to do.
Absolutely. Well, first off, that should definitely be it. But
that's hard to learn, though.
That's hard to learn, and directors what people are doing with operas nowadays is they're not just doing the operas, they're doing their interpretation of the opera, which means that if you're putting it in a certain frame and then somebody does something that was the more towards the original, it doesn't fit. The concept won't work anymore, right?
Yeah, right.
Selena in the original concept and this concept are both pretty close.
Yeah.
Don Giovanni, it's clear what Don Giovanni wants from her, right?
Yeah.
Either way, you're going to have to deal with being physically close with somebody on stage,
Mm-hmm.
And my thought about it is it's a legitimate artistic thing that the director's trying to do.
Yeah.
It's your feelings are also, of course, legitimate. It's not legitimate to ask somebody to stop, to change their thing, or you quit. I mean, it's not wrong for them to keep going. You can ask them to change it, and they'll do it or not.
Yeah.
But then you have to decide, okay, is this something I want to do right now?
Well, that's the difference between being like a person that's good to work with or being a diva,
That's
like
right.
being like, I'm not doing that. It's like, what? Like, there's no discussion. But be like, here's my hangups. Here's my problems.
No. I got to say is, so the diva thing's fine. If you say, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's different than saying, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
The one is saying, it's my body. I want to do whatever I want to do, and I'm not comfortable with that, so I'm not fucking doing it.
And honestly,
you can find somebody else. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
you can say that.
Yeah. That's perfectly fine. And usually I've seen that go down a lot, and usually that goes down fine.
Yeah.
Usually it's like I did a Don Giovanni thing once, and it's like they kind of got dark with it. They wanted me to put my hands around her neck and stuff, and she was like, I don't like this, and they were just like, okay, then we won't do it.
Yeah, see, oftentimes
Boom, you know?
people will. So
People are going to push you.
Yeah. And you have to be pushed.
Yeah, and you should do things you're uncomfortable with, but you should also be like, I don't want to do that right now. Not right now, you know? But also, the thing is, and Mike and I have talked about on the podcast before, if you live enough life and you sing long enough, you will eventually do things on stage that you've lived in real life. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
I'm not going to air all my dirty laundry, but there have been terrible things I've gone through in my life that I have then had to relive on stage.
And, you know, okay, so a couple things. You encountered that when you were young, and then... So you did one of those things. You encountered something that you lived through personally, and you were very young.
Yeah,
16 is too young to be doing this.
Yeah, I hadn't even started singing at 16.
I mean, seriously, neither had I.
I started singing like 18 or 19, you know?
And no offense, but at 16, somebody's not probably emotionally ready to be artistically effective.
The director might have had some like bad taste in that.
I guess because everybody hears that music.
You do Papageno. Yeah, well they should
think it's so it's sweet.
Right.
They don't recognize how sinister it is.
Yeah, and they should have done a PG version of it, or they should have just done fucking Papageno and Papageno, you know?
Yeah,
or else.
Yeah, just do it a bit. The angle they were going for is right.
The angles they're going for right, but if you're in a training program with kids
with 16-year-olds,
you can't because also you get these directors, because if you're directing a summer program like that, sometimes you're kind of a starting director too. You know what I mean? It could be, and it's like sometimes they want to come in and make a big splash, but it's like you got to look at this, because that's the other thing I want to say is that it's also the situation. If a theater hires me and this is like a real fucking production with money and tickets and blah, 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 I'm going to do a lot more because I understand what's at stake.
Yeah.
But if this is like some sort of like favor gig, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be 20 people there and then they're like, so I want you to really, and it's like, no, man, I'm not doing all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I did this production once of something. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was Carmen, like years ago. And the tenor put on the production, and it was like one of these things where you get paid $100 and he does it in his backyard. You know what I mean, with piano. And he was trying to make the scenes like so fucking sexual, right? And the mezzo was just like, I'm not doing that for fucking backyard Carmen.
Right.
All right. Like if we're on stage, fine, but not in this situation.
It's just in his bedroom. He's like, okay, now.
You know, but that's what you also have to separate your artistry from like, when does it fucking make sense to do? You know?
Right. No, it's a complicated one. Thank you for writing us in. Thank you for being open about it. The point is, open art is better art.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a difficult thing, it's just my principle in life. Anytime something is difficult for me, I try to do it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I try to confront it.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to deal with those emotions unless you confront them.
Yeah.
And once you do, you'll be better for it.
And if it's hard, that's good, but it'll get easier.
It'll get easier.
But that's how you develop a skill. Is it's hard in the beginning and then it's not.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why.
And be open and honest, like not just with your acting, but also with your words. You know, you'll be surprised. Just get it out in the open. You usually feel better, and then people at least understand you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's this miscommunication because it's like you are making assumptions that somebody is perceiving you a certain way or would react a certain way. And in my life experiences, I'm usually wrong.
Yeah.
You know, usually I tell them and they're like, that makes perfect sense, Jared. Thank you for telling me. I'm like, fuck, I was ready to quit. You know, like, why didn't I just talk about it?
I mean, you got to fucking talk about it. You got to get it out there, period.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care of yourselves.
See ya.